Welcome in Gamesthetic episode 218. I'm Alex Live with Sparky 3. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day while we are just like a week away from a very exciting week for gaming with the Switch 2 launch. We got Summer Game Fest on Friday, the Xbox Showcase after that, probably a Nintendo Direct around the corner, probably a State of Play around the corner. A lot of exciting stuff. That's next week. Let's focus on this week, I guess. I got John with me. John, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I got a couple controllers sitting here I could show off.
Yeah, let's see them.
I showed this one off last week, but my webcam made it a little hard to see. Is the Doom the Dark Ages limited edition controller.
God, it's so nice.
It's very, very nice. Really like that one. That's one of the probably nicer ones that's come out. And then just came in a couple days ago, actually, the Witcher 3 10th anniversary controller.
Man, that's just a really nice design.
Yeah. Not a Witcher fan here, but cannot deny the controller looks very nice.
Yeah. No, the Doom one is sick. The Doom one is super sick. Like John, the way John described is that like all like the metal around the metal designing around the controller is all like actual like ridges to it and stuff, and like the buttons that have like the Doom symbols have like a really nice matte feeling to them as well.
Yeah,
that's a really nice controller.
It's like a matte color, and it's also got like some discoloration, like weathering to it, which makes it look real nice.
Yeah, no, that one's actually one. That's actually one of the nicer ones. Let me fix your cam a little bit. Let's get our heads at this like kind of the same level here. Hey, shout out to Becca in chat. Becca, how are you? Hopefully you're doing well. Haven't talked to you in a while. Hopefully life is great. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you. But yeah, no, like I said, big week to come. You know, Switch 2 coming out on Thursday. Then Friday, Summer Game Fest.
See what time Summer Game Fest is starting?
It's in the morning, isn't it?
No, it's like, I think it's like 4 p.m. on a Friday.
Oh, well, that's good for me. But normally it's morning, right? I'm not crazy on that.
No, Summer Game Fest is usually, I think the past couple of years, it's been like a 7 o'clock show.
Really? I thought it was the morning. I thought I remember some of them I see them at work.
No, that's usually because I think Summer Game Fest usually kicks off on like Thursday.
Oh, okay.
And then the other shows start in the morning.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
But yeah, it's usually a little bit later, which, I mean, it's kind of a little frustrating because it's like right there and right before, like an hour before work's over.
Right. In my case, work would be over for me right at 4. So, I mean, that'll work out for me. That's unfortunate for you, though.
I might take off a bit early.
There you go. Yeah, Summer Game Fest on Friday, Xbox Showcase on Sunday. Like I said, probably a State of Play in there somewhere. Probably a Nintendo Direct in there somewhere.
There's a Saturday. I think Saturday starts. The shows start at like 8 or 9 a.m. Central Time, and they go all day.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be an all-day affair, man. Next weekend's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, this is the quote-unquote E3 period, so you know that rest in peace E3, where it's just a lot of stuff's gonna be happening, a lot of games being shown and revealed, new updates on stuff. It's gonna be fun. And one of the things that we're gonna talk about is our hopes for the weekend.
Let's say, I mean, not to kick off a little too quick, but my biggest hope is that Summer Games Fest showcase this year is better than last year's.
Okay.
Because last year's was a bit disappointing for me.
Yeah. This is always like your favorite show.
Because historically it's been one of my favorite shows because they tend to have like more variety than like an Xbox Showcase or a State of Play or something.
Right.
They show off a lot of big hitters, but they also show off a mixture of like cool indie titles and third party stuff, which usually I'm a big fan of.
Yeah. No, so you know, you're right, because like in any time with Gamesthetic, we've gotten to talk about Summer Game Fest every year. It's usually John's favorite showcase, but last year not so much. So hopefully that one shows out.
Honestly, last year the big hitter of the year was honestly kind of like Game Awards.
It was, although the Xbox Showcase last year was a banger.
Yeah,
that was a banger.
But yeah, it's just one of those like a year out from that.
Yeah, a year now. It's like now in hindsight,
it was cool at the time. But a year out from then, it's like, man,
not so much.
Man, you should have released some stuff.
Yeah. No, so what we will be going over some hopes for like Summer Game Fest, Xbox Showcase, possibly State of Play, Nintendo Direct, anything like that. Just general hopes for the weekend, not necessarily hard predictions per se. He and I both played the Dispatch demo, which Dispatch is that like Telltale superhero game. We played that demo, pretty fun. Got some other news to talk about, like the Black Panther game being canceled. The worst kept secret in gaming right now with the Persona 4 remake and the news going on with that. Some Nintendo Switch 2 news and everything along the lines. We'll also be shouting out our sponsors, Agent Inc. and Rogue Energy, later on the show. And if you want to support us further, Patreon is a great way to do so. And once again, shout out to Becca in the chat. We appreciate you. I've seen you growing some more as a channel. I hope y'all continue to grow. I appreciate you. Shout out to Becca. She's one of the OGs. She was one of the ones hanging out with us when we were doing AniMan Plus. Shout out to AniMan Plus. It will come back one day, John. Don't give me any negativity over there. It's gonna come back one day.
That is the equivalent of like the 4 years in a row that you said that the what was it, the Legend of Zelda double pack was gonna come out.
Oh yeah, with Wind Waker Twilight. Yeah.
If you say it long enough, it's gonna happen.
I mean, look, AniMan Plus is gonna come back one day. Okay, all right, I promise it will. Because, dude, it's crazy. I've said this before, but the fact the show still gets like views or like mostly it's like audio downloads on when I go check like transistor stats and stuff. It still gets downloads to this day, and it's just like, dude, like I think we just hit 2 years of no uploads. It's so bad. Oh, one day it's gonna come back. I can't wait for it. But in the meantime, you got Gamestetic. You can come hang out with us over here. Unfortunately, no Zach today. Obviously, he is not. Or I would have already introduced him. He is not here. He had to work. Very unfortunate. Anything you want to shout out before we get into hopes for the weekend?
Yeah, a couple. Well, maybe related. I figured I'd mention it this week because next week it might kind of get lost in the shuffle of all the shows happening. I think there's supposed to be a Steam Next Fest that starts on June 9th.
Oh, nice.
Which is always fun. So if I don't mention it next week and it's supposed to happen, then it's a great time. Like Steam Next Fest is always a great time here in a couple weeks when that happens, or like a week and a half or so, because Next Fest it's demos galore. It's a great showcase of a lot of games. It's usually where I find some of my more favorite games that I find throughout the year.
That is true. That is a good spot for you.
Which also potentially very excited for Next Fest coming around because one of the games I'm really looking forward to this year, Fellowship.
Yeah.
It is essentially just an MMO dungeon crawling game. They've been posting like for the past couple weeks, every few days they post updates about like new talents, new skills, character stuff. They're currently having like a closed beta for their community council, testing out their build. So hopefully that signals that they might have something for Steam Next Fest open, which would be great for me because I'm really looking forward to that game.
Yeah. As John said, God help anything in its way when that game comes out. Also, John, you'll appreciate this. Becca said in the chat, it's been years. I'm with John on this. Keep giving him crap. Wow.
Every time he brings it up, I can't help it.
Come on. AniMan Plus will return. It'll return. Mark my words, it will. It'll be a thunderous return, too. Hopefully. All right, let's hop into it. Summer Game Fest going down next Friday. Xbox Showcase on Sunday. And like I said, we can presume there's going to be a State of Play and a Nintendo Direct within the same time period, whether if it's this week or the week after or whatever. Just kind of really talk about hopes. Maybe if you want to throw out predictions, sure, but mostly hopes. Because I'll be honest, I haven't done enough research to really aim for this showcase. These showcases kind of feel a little interesting. Because it's like, I don't really know what's all going to be there. You know what I mean? I have no idea what's going to be there. And that's kind of fun. It's kind of exciting.
Yeah. I mean, Summer Game Fest posted like their partners, or like all their partners that are going to be partnered with the showcase. So if I spent more time looking through that, we'd have somewhat of a better idea of what's going to be there. But it's one where even when you see all that, it's kind of like, what are they going to show here versus what are they going to keep for themselves?
Right.
But yeah, it's one where it's weird because we know a lot of stuff is coming out this year, and it's just that we don't have release dates for. So is it going to show up here, or are they going to wait until it's closer to when they're actually going to release it,
Mhm.
and then just hope that saying, "Hey, it's going to come out in a month," is going to generate hype for them?
Mhm.
So I don't know exactly how it's going to go down.
Yeah. The biggest thing that I really just want out of any of these showcases is just release dates, and would like to see release dates like this year would be cool. Obviously, if we want to get down to the nitty gritty and talk games, I think you can agree with me. The biggest game that I just want to see a release date for because it's time is Digimon
I,
Story Time
I was
Stranger.
it's top of my list right now of like it's got to be there.
Yeah.
It's got to be there. You think?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not gonna happen, but you know what would be great? That could close the show, and that would be the big game closing show for me and you.
Oh yeah, no, no. Listen, like your mindset on Fellowship and anything that comes out around Fellowship. God help what's in its way. That's my mindset for anything that gets revealed this entire weekend. Because as long as we get a release date for Time Stranger, that is my automatic number one most like hype thing of the weekend. God help anything else in its
Oh
way.
yeah,
God help anything else in
yeah.
its way.
No, it's
Give me Digimon Story Time Stranger release
yeah.
date.
No, I would say my number one hope for Summer Games Fest, the Xbox showcase, all the indie showcases and
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
going on this weekend. My biggest hope is going to be that the majority of games that are shown are for the year 2025 with
Hmm.
release dates.
Yes,
I don't
yes.
if stuff is shown for 2025, I don't want to see this fall. I don't want to see this winter. I don't want to see anything like that. I want to see goddamn release dates.
Yeah.
I want to know, and I don't even want to see a month. If you say August, I want to know what day.
Right, right. Yeah, no, I want to know exact dates. Like, part of this weekend as well, assuming that we're going to get, some sort of Nintendo Direct, right? Like one thing, give me that Prime 4 release
I
date.
I,
I want that release date.
I have a feeling Nintendo's gonna hold off.
Really?
I think Nintendo's gonna like if they do something, I think it'll be in like 2.5 weeks because they like doing their own thing.
Yeah. That
They
that
they
is true.
haven't
They like to kind of separate themselves from the party and
if
do it a
they're
little
gonna
later.
I mean if they're gonna do anything for it, it would probably be like I would assume like a Friday morning thing that they're gonna do. In which case we'll hear about it Thursday morning.
Do you think there's any chance they do one like this week before the Switch 2 comes out?
Uh,
Switch 2 comes out on a Thursday, so could you see them doing something on like a Tuesday or Wednesday?
Not necessarily because they've already announced their launch lineup.
Yeah.
And Nintendo's not one to change plans and like shadow drop something like huge or like
Hmm.
announce it and be like, hey, this is now available first day. 'Cause if they're gonna do that, they would have. I feel like they would have already done it, especially because there was. I mean, with the initial like reveal and price and everything, and then pulling back on pre-orders and then doing pre-orders. If they were gonna do something like that, I would have expected it to be right after they announced the like that pre-orders were still going live to be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
also here's this.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Because also they did just announce like, Pokemon Presents for July, which I think that's like the earliest we've had. That's a random time for Pokemon Presents, but whatever. So yeah, no, I think probably a couple weeks after this week, separate themselves from it. We may see a Nintendo Direct then and give us a release date for like Prime 4 and maybe a future outlook for more stuff coming this fall, early next year, just next year in general and stuff. Another game that I really would love to see this weekend, but I don't know where we would see it at. Would if we had a state of play confirmed, I feel like maybe there because that's where it was revealed at. But could we possibly see it at Summer Game Fest? Maybe. Is I would love to see anything new about Tides of Annihilation. That was that JRPG that was revealed in the state of play that was based on like Arthurian legend and gave off a similar world vibe that caught our attention with Expedition 33 once upon a time, if you remember it.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
know Tides of Annihilation.
yeah, yeah. So Ties of Annihilation is one I'd really like to get any form of update on. But is it too soon for one? Maybe I don't know. But it'd be really cool to see something new on it.
I don't remember Summer Game Fest historically showing off like Sony specific things.
Right.
So I don't know if it would show up here. It'd be cool if it did. I
At
mean,
the very least, like I said, hopefully we get a state of play and it shows back up there. Right.
oh yeah, next
That's what I'm hoping for.
I have a feeling that's like based on the last state of play they did. I mean, they saw what people wanted, like what people got excited about.
Hmm.
So for that, that's got to be up there. Is like, okay, when we do something, we got to show off more of this.
Right.
Uh, man, I know like we say it every year. We have been for a few years now, and I don't. I mean, they almost would have to show more, but they got to show like not. I would expect to see it at Summer's Game Fest and the Xbox one.
Hmm.
They got to show something about Fable.
Yeah, I mean, it just got delayed, so I feel like you got to show
It's
something
like
new on it.
you gotta. I feel like it's either you show something or you just completely back off and say, "Nah, we're not doing anything here.
Yeah,
We're not
it's
showing
delayed to next year. You'll see it later, kind of thing.
But it's like the reason I kind of think like, oh, they gotta show something is because, especially at the Xbox showcase, I mean, Xbox is like they're known for showing off stuff that's not coming out this year.
Yeah, that's their mo, 100%.
So it's like they probably had to have something ready
Hmm.
to show off and then delay it. So maybe show some progress because the last time they showed us something, we were all just confused.
Yeah,
So maybe show us something that you know r- shows us at least what the game would be because right now we don't kind of have an idea.
right. Is this Xbox showcase just gonna be like a rehash of last year? Because I feel like I feel like it could be
I mean,
because they didn't release much.
it kind of
Well, they did release stuff, yes, but like let's be honest, like there's a lot of stuff that they announced that obviously has been delayed or it's way out or whatever.
I don't know. It's one where they're gonna show off like I'd say a good third of the showcase is probably gonna be rehashing last year.
Yeah. Uh,
And then
all right, so let's see. I pulled up last year's because I was curious what could potentially be rehashed, right? So looking at it, man, honestly, a really good lineup last year. I'm not even gonna lie. All right, so let's see some things that 100% could be rehashed. Um, I would assume Wu Chang Fallen Feathers because that's set to come out soon, so you'll probably get a new trailer for that. Perfect Dark, obviously.
I'm not. That's approaching. I'm not convinced territory.
Oh, it's in that realm for you.
It's been. I mean, it's been so long.
Yeah, yeah,
It's been so long. They finally showed us something, and then we've heard nothing.
yeah, yeah. Let's see. Perfect Dark, Gears of War E-Day. I would say no to that one because like you got Reloaded coming out, and I feel like E-Day is so far away. State of Decay 3, possibly see that again. Possibly see Fable again.
We gotta see something, Gears. They gotta show
Yeah.
something. Whether it's
Hey,
E-Day or Reloaded, they're gonna show something to try to generate some hype.
yeah, I was gonna ask, um is this gonna be the showcase that announces Halo to PS5? Is this it? 'Cause I feel like this is a big time. This is a big moment for it.
I would almost more expect that to be in a Sony showcase. It'd be weird for an Xbox showcase to show one of their games and then go now on PlayStation.
Yeah.
I would assume Sony's next showcase is going to show that.
Hmm.
Uh, because I was trying to think earlier because Microsoft can't help themselves but to show Halo at these showcases.
Right.
So I was trying to figure out. I was like, what would they show Halo related? Because
Mm,
they always like without fail, even if it's like a Halo Infinite seasonal update, they have to show something. They can't help themselves as much as we say stop talking about Halo.
right. You know,
Oh, you know one thing we're gonna see
what's that?
Starfield.
Oh yeah, you're gonna see something Starfield, 100%. You know, another game that we're gonna be able to see because I just realized it has not come out, and it was one of your standout games of the year last year. I just saw the logo for it. Winterboro. Remember that little game? It's the one with the little cozy game with the mouse.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was one of your standouts. I saw it on the list. I was like, wait a minute, is that what I remember that one? Yeah,
I mean
maybe see Winterboro again, buddy.
maybe.
I just checked it on Steam. It still set it for this year.
Well,
But
that's an interesting. Well, I had a thought about that recently because remember a few years ago when it it was like the first year. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. It was the first time where Summer Game Fest kind of officially became like my favorite show of the year because I came out of it with a list of like 15 games I was super excited for.
right,
As of about a month ago, I think all of those games are out now
yeah,
because one of them just recently came out,
hmm
which I haven't picked it up because I'm trying to. I want to. I bought the game that came before it, so I want to play through that one first.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's. I mean, yeah, Xbox doesn't. They show stuff off, but god damn, do they not release stuff?
Yeah, like another one is like, are we gonna finally see whatever Contraband is? Because that was like a quick little 10-second snippet, like I think 2-3 years ago, of just like a crate getting dropped down, Contraband, and that's it. That's all we ever saw. Will this finally be the time we see Everwild by Rare? That's another big one. Is that gonna finally begin a reveal? I would love that. Let me see
I
what
don't.
Everwild is.
I don't know. I saw something about Everwild recently, and it caught me off guard.
Oh, really?
Well, it was like an article or something. I was
Okay.
like, why are you talking about Everwild?
It's crazy. You gotta also keep in mind as well, they have all of the Activision Blizzard stuff under
Well,
the
yeah,
belt. Yeah,
it's like they'll be
probably a Diablo
they'll
update, a WoW
they'll
update.
show something Diablo related. I don't know if WoW will be shown, just because I don't know if there's anything to show off for WoW right now. Because I would expect that to be more of like if a new expansion or something was hitting them, show it off.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean they'll show something D4 related.
Yeah. Hey, here's a hot take for you. We're gonna see the official revival of Heroes of the Storm on on this showcase. They're gonna make a big announcement about it. Oh, new champions coming soon, baby! It's coming to console. God, please no, that'd be terrible. But I would still love for HOTS to get a revival. I still hold on to hope. I still see updates all the time now. The fact they're updating the game just makes me happy. It makes me happy when I hop on Twitter and I'll see from the official Heroes of the Storm Twitter page a new update is live. I'm like, shout out, shout out.
I mean, it'd be hard for that's one where it's like, I mean, have your hope, buddy, but
I know.
the hardest thing to do is
It is.
bring back a game, much less bring back a MOBA
Yep.
that has already kind of been crushed.
Yeah. No, the only thing they could do at this point for that property is they just have to make a new one, and that could jolt some life into it a little bit. Now that they're owned by Xbox, you can have Xbox characters in there. Throw Master Chief in the fray. Why not? Who cares? They're all under one banner now. That's the only thing that could ever bring them back. But hey, I mean, they got a little thing set up with Game Pass, where if you have Game Pass PC Game Pass, you get X amount of champions, whatever. So
Well, yeah,
shout out.
they have that with everybody they're partnered with.
Well, I know, but it's their property, so it's a little bit special, a little bit special. That's mean, Becca. You need to relax. Still talking shit about AniMan Plus over here. God bless.
Yeah. No, I've been trying to think because Summer Games Fest and like Game Awards, every Keeley show, they always try to have their big hitter at the end.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's like they usually try to save like a world premiere for it.
yeah,
Because think back a few years ago, he got Elden Ring.
yeah. He got the Elden Ring gameplay.
he got well, I mean I think he got Elden Ring in general.
Yeah,
He got Elden Ring in general, and then he got Elden Ring gameplay.
yeah. He
and
got
stuff.
that. Well, so for like the big one where he's like, it's finally here. That's the one where it was gameplay plus release date. So shout out.
Yeah.
And we ought to keep in mind, this is the same man that got the Xbox Series reveal at Game Awards. This dude's got pulled.
So I've been trying to think. Do you have any ideas of what might be that big hitter?
See, that's one of the best questions is what is going to be the grand finale? Because I really don't know what it could be. Is it like just an actual reveal of an already announced game?
I wouldn't think. I think it would almost have to be something new.
Do you think it's just Kojima? Because he's going to be there. Do you think it's going to be OD?
No, because that we're in the middle of the show is usually the Kojima like ad break.
Kojima ad break. That's a good way. That's a good way to describe it.
Because you gotta keep in mind there's gonna be the whole like 10, 15-minute Kojima segment because
Yeah.
we're gonna have Death Stranding 2. And then while he's on stage, they'll probably talk to him about that.
Right.
So
That is true because it is coming out later this month.
yeah,
So,
so it's like they'll show some stuff off there for that.
God, what would be the grand finale then? That's a great question.
Because I've been trying to like run through my head of some of these like studios
Yeah.
and like what might be there. I'm I'm kind of at a loss
Mm-hmm.
of like some of them. One one name keeps jumping out to me.
Okay.
I don't know what it would be, but one name keeps jumping out at me for some reason. It's kind of like just that you know when you get that feeling?
Mm-hmm.
It's Bethesda.
Okay.
Bethesda's name's jumping out to me
Okay.
because it's like,
Bethesda for Summer Game Fest?
well, we just had because a lot of times they'll do like the like Summer Games Fest will show off. It'll just be like the launch trailer, or it'll be like the trailer, or just like a landscape with the name drop, and then he ends the show with go check out the Xbox showcase in a couple days for more information.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why Bethesda's jumping out at me because it's just like, what would they have been doing? Because like we got the Oblivion remaster,
Mm-hmm.
but it's been a while.
Yeah. You're not implying we're about to see Elder Scrolls
Oh
6.
no, I
Okay.
that's
Okay.
2027.
Is when we might see it.
I don't. That's the thing. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's I got that feeling because it's like Bethesda. They got a win under their belt with Oblivion remaster.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's been kind of quiet for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious. I don't necessarily believe that it's gonna be them, but I could see like Jeff Keighley getting all like really excited,
Mm-hmm.
turning to the screen saying, "You won't believe this," and then the Bethesda logo showing up. People would lose their collective fucking minds.
Especially depending on what it is, But that's the thing. What could it be? Because the next project is, it's Elder Scrolls. That's the next project.
It's Bethesda. It could be Bethesda. It can't. Well, I almost said Obsidian, but Obsidian's busy as shit right now. They got Outer Worlds 2 they're working on. That's the big show. Isn't that the big showcase for Microsoft? That's gonna be their
Outer Worlds. Yes, that's the
that's
follow.
their that's gonna be their big next one. I don't know. What are you thinking in the show? I've thrown a Hail Mary here.
I'm sorry. I'm throwing out the same thing I've been
It's
kind of
not
thinking.
gonna be Persona 6.
It could be Persona 6, John. It could be, damn it. It could be Persona 6. Like, obviously, we know for, one of these showcases, Persona 4 Remake's going to be there. We know that.
I want to put this out there before you get going too much. I mean zero offense by this to, like, the Persona
Fandom.
like fandom or to you.
Right.
I think Persona's like a lead off or like a middle showcase.
Really? I would actually.
I don't know if it's the big hitter for the end of showcase. But
So-
to be fair, the big hitter at like Game Awards was some shit we have no idea what it is and nobody has any expectations for.
Right. I will say I would actually agree with you before P5R. All right, now I'm very new to the Persona fandom
I
and
know
everything.
it's extremely popular. Persona 5 drew in
A huge
millions
audience
and millions
yeah.
of players.
Persona 5 and P5R, it changed the landscape. So that's why before that I would actually agree with you, but after that, I think Persona 6 is actually I think it could be an ender.
Well, I don't know. I guess I kind of looking at it as like the ender is like ender would be like, well, it's I was gonna say like that should be like this your future game of the year winner. And like whenever Persona 6 does come out, it's definitely going to be a contender for it. But it's one where I don't know. I don't know how soon away that could be. Also, another thought just came into my mind. Studio just popped in my head.
Okay.
Sony Santa Monica.
Oh, is it God of War time, or maybe just something else they've been doing?
2 years.
Yeah, it's been
2023.
Yeah, no, it was 22 for Ragnarok.
Yeah, 2022.
23 for Valhalla, right?
Yeah, so it's like maybe, and it's like they showed that they could turn it around quicker because they already have most of the like. Because for like, I think God of War 2018 was a long build, and then Ragnarok was like, I think 2018 was 5 or 6 years that it took.
Yeah.
And then Ragnarok was 4 years. So assuming that it's the initial showcase of it, and it's not going to come out for a year and a half, it could be time.
Mm-hmm.
Could be time to show Kratos off.
Yeah. At least for like the state of play, right? Like if there's a state of play, I feel like that would be a phenomenal ender.
Well, I'm thinking like even
Summer
Games Fest is like the big showcase, because you could not even announce a state of play, show that off as your ender, and then have Keeley announce your state of play.
Right.
That'd be a way to get a lot of views for Sony.
Oh yeah, immediately. Sony don't need the help, but man, it's going to give them a lot of views immediately. No, I really don't know what all could be the ender, but I mean, I do feel like there are some studios that we're kind of waiting to hear from, right? Whether it be Sony Santa Monica, Insomniac with Wolverine. I feel like this month we'll finally see something Wolverine with like a state of play. I feel like it's time for that. There are a lot of studios that's like waiting to hear what's next for them on, you know what I mean? As well as just any kind of general follow-ups. But in terms of like the hopes and stuff, like I said, Digimon is maybe my biggest one. I would love to see Tides, but I don't think we will. Would love to see Everwild as part of the Xbox showcase, but I don't think that's happening. I think that's a pipe dream to the maximum on that front.
Yeah.
Other than that, just give me release dates, man. It'd be cool to see if if this is the week and the weekend and everything that where Halo is now officially on PS5. That would be cool. I want to see that. Other than that, I'm not really sure. Like this is kind of an interesting little time period.
Yeah, it's also like a weird thing to say, because like we're not too far off from Infinite, and this isn't necessarily like Summer Game Fest thing. It's more of an Xbox thing. I mean, they either need to step away from it, like we've said, or since they seem to not be willing to step away from it.
Yep.
I wonder if they have like two teams on it, the Infinite team and the next Halo team. So maybe we see something there.
Yeah.
But I don't know about that.
Yeah.
It's like that's a little too far fetched in my mind. But it is. I mean, it's potentially there.
Right.
Like a more back to basics Halo. Something like that.
Especially since it's now an Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah. It's also
which is exciting.
It's also one where it's like, I think we've talked about it before. Is Halo's time done?
I think
just for like, not talking about like the campaign side, like the co-op single player side of it. You think the multiplayer side of it's had its time in the sun? I think it's kind of done.
For longtime fans, I think you kind of have to ask that question. Because obviously, look, anyone that's watching this, because you asking that question up front, this is about to be a clip now. So thank you, buddy. We can all agree, right? It still has player counts and stuff, but it doesn't have the height that it had with 3 and Reach and everything, right? Like, it doesn't have those same heights. So there's a part of me that wants to really kind of agree with you that, yeah, it kind of had its time in the sun. Like, it's still going to come out. It's still going to have great player counts. Me and you will play it and probably still have fun for a month. But like I feel like the time in its sun has potentially passed,
The
which is
problem
sad to
is
say.
the problem is because it's at the end of the day, like with a weird tangent we're on, uh, but
It
like
happens.
Halo multiplayer at its core is just it's TDM or capture the flag or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just
Team SWAT, you know.
standard multiplayer type stuff. Those don't hold an audience that well anymore.
Mhm.
Like the I mean the obvious like look at and say, well, this still does numbers is COD, but COD their yearly releases of like their campaign and multiplayer type stuff is really just a way to feed new content into Warzone. And of
Yep.
course there's people that prefer that over like Warzone and that itself.
Mhm.
But that's their end goal is to get you to play that so that you play Warzone.
Right.
Halo doesn't have anything like that, and just like standard multiplayer type stuff is harder to keep people's attention. That's why things like Rivals and Overwatch and that
Mhm.
they have they're a little more unique than
Mhm.
just like TDM and stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, it's weird to say because like Halo was always like the campaign was great, but the multiplayer was kind of what you stuck around for.
Yeah.
That was more in the days where there was less options.
Right.
I
Now
don't know.
there's a lot of options.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll come out with something to kind of change my mind on that.
Do you think it might just be the game being in like Unreal Engine just has, because like obviously we've heard so many reports of that slip space engine just giving them such a damn problem. And we saw it firsthand, me and you, with Infinite, like co-op. Like in the fact that co-op was delayed for as long as it was. Like, there's been so many issues with that slip space engine. Like, do you think the next Halo just being in Unreal, do you think that alone is gonna give it a huge like shot of energy? Because like the game's gonna be
Not
designed better potentially.
not necessarily. I mean, if you'll have an initial boost that'll probably fall off. But it's one where they the problem is you can't stray too far from the core like gameplay that Halo
Hmm.
fans remember, or
Right.
else it doesn't feel like it. And we've seen that because when they do stray off and start adding in a bunch of extra stuff to it, it doesn't feel the same.
Hmm.
No matter if it is actually like a more enjoyable experience, doesn't feel Halo.
Right.
So I don't know. If everything worked on launch, they were actually able to have like a working multiplayer, a working co-op, and stuff like that. I mean, of course, you're gonna get a higher influx of players. Just keeping them around is the problem.
Right. Right. Hey, Becca, have a great day. Thank you for stopping by. Do you think they need to go away from that newly introduced like free to play model that they did and go back to how it was?
For like the multiplayer stuff,
Yeah.
I think that part's probably like fine.
Because the issue that they had is there was no there was no content, right? The content gaps were too big. Wasn't that the big problem?
That was a lot of it for like the
Yeah.
the free to play multiplayer side of it. That was a lot of it. But that's the other problem is it came out and it had several game modes and stuff to play on. It's just a matter of in this day and age having a multiplayer content pool that was like Halo 3
Right.
it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
It's like people have like 30 games to choose from to play every day of like just random free to play multiplayer games. Are they going to play the one that has 5 game modes to it,
Hmm.
or are they going to play the one that like probably has 2 or 3 times the player base and has, I mean, maybe only 1 or 2 game modes, but that have more depth to them?
Hmm.
So I don't know. It's a weird problem to solve.
Yeah. It is. It is. Uh, but one step in the direction for it is go ahead and just pull the plug and slap it on PlayStation. That's going to give it a
Oh
huge
yeah,
player count, so that's just going to be exciting on that front. And like I said, I think this whole time period, this whole, I'm still going to continue to call it the E3 time period because it just feels right, right? And
Well,
and
it's
in honor of E3 that started it all, let's keep calling it that. In this whole E3 time period, it
no,
feels like the right time to do Halo Infinite.
it's hey, this is E3 had its time. This is Keely's time to
We're
shine.
just trying to honor it, John.
This is the Keely showcase week.
This is the Keely month.
It's like he's got 2 months. E3 had a week. Keely's got 2 months.
Basically. Oh man. He's petty as hell with E3 too, man. Whenever E3 was making its announcements, oh, it got delayed or oh, it shut down. Literally, like minutes later, Keely would put out Summer Game Fest is happening on this day. It's like, oh my god,
Hey,
bruh.
call it petty. I mean, the man built it up.
He did. He did. I mean, he talked about it at length that he saw, all the great things that E3 did, but saw where it could be better, is
Yeah.
the way that he put it. So it's worked. It's worked. Summer Game Fest continues to grow every dang year, especially with what they have actually at the showcases. So I don't know. I have a feeling this year will be a really special one because I feel like, especially now, here's something else to keep in mind, John. With this Summer Game Fest potentially, I feel like we're going to actually see a lot of like really dope reveals as well as release dates for stuff because now GTA 6 is out of the way. So
Oh yeah.
all these
Well, that's
studios that have
that's
been
a big
holding
part of it.
back, they're about to unleash everything now.
Well, that's a big part of it too. Also, this year, I have a feeling that he's gonna show out this year. Because did we have E3 last year? Or was that yeah?
No,
Because
E3's been gone for at least like 2 years,
I was gonna say because
two or three.
last year was like the year where it was kind of an underwhelming showcase,
And even kind
and
of went
then
into he went into it
well
saying
yeah,
temper your expectations.
and it was one where it's like all the news coming out of it was Keely's showcase is great, but maybe we do still need E3. So I have a
Yeah.
feeling this year he's showing out.
Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of announcements.
It's
So,
like he's probably went around and pulled every string he could
yeah,
to be like, hey, whatever you got, let me show it.
yeah.
He's like,
Come on,
he's like, let me show it.
I'll even give you a discount.
It's like I will hype you up and everybody will come see you when I'm done.
Yeah, it's like I'll even give you a discount for my normal fee to get on the show. Let's go. No, I'm excited, man. This is such an exciting week for gaming, and honestly, just this week, especially with the Switch 2 also dropping, this is just an exciting couple weeks for gaming. This is like a historic period. You're entering a new era for Nintendo. Plus, you have all these different showcases, so it's gonna be a really exciting week. I can't wait to talk about it. You're gonna be getting videos here at Sparky34. I'll be doing separate videos. We'll be talking about on the show. Possibly have more than one episode. That'll be up to the boys. I'll be down for it if you guys want to be down for it. I don't care. But it's gonna be a fun week, man. That's gonna be a fun week to talk about everything. I can't wait for it. Let's shout out a sponsor though. Let's shout out a sponsor. Where is my sponsor button? Here we go. Let's shout out some Rogue Energy. Use the referral link down below. Promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order, regardless if you're using the hydration chill or the energy, whatever you're picking up. Promo code works for all of it. And also, if they got a better sale going on, look, that's fine. Just use the referral link, and you're still going to help out the brand. Use the better sale. Save your money, right? It's tough times. We all need to save some money, so you don't have to use our promo code. But you know what? If you want to use the promo code anyway, we appreciate that. Use the referral link down below. All right. Let's talk Dispatch. Shout out to the Dispatch demo getting shadow dropped this week. That's
Yeah.
exciting.
So yeah, like Alex said at the start of the showcase or the start of the show, Dispatch is like the Telltale style ish game where you play as a former hero.
Yep.
Well, a former hero slash like trying to return to the field.
Yep.
Hero who's basically doing dispatch work for a team of heroes while as part of an agreement so that he can get back in the field.
Yep.
And man, I gotta say, this demo made me so excited for this game.
Yeah, dude, me too. It's a very short demo, but god dang it, it's all I needed.
Yeah, I finished the demo and I had 27 minutes played.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
no, I saw that. Like, so when I got on the page for it to hit play today, I saw like you and Zach both only like played 27 minutes, played 30 minutes. And I'm like, did they just like quit midway or something? And then I get into it. I'm like, okay, no, it's just that short. Got it.
But no, it's a very short demo, but it does a fantastic job of showing you like the vibe of the game,
Yep.
what you'll be doing in the game,
Yep.
and you can tell very quickly if this is your style humor or not.
Yeah, 100%. Very
And
quickly.
man, is it my style? I told Alex before we started, I probably spent half of the time I was playing the demo just laughing my ass off. Like out loud, just laughing to myself.
Right.
uh because man, it's just my humor.
Yeah.
I loved it. It's but yeah, the actual gameplay of it, it's like partially Telltale type stuff where
Mhm.
like you're not actually controlling your character moving around. It's more of the scene is happening and dialogue is happening, and you pick the responses that your
Mhm.
character makes. And then the other half of it is it's a management game.
Yeah.
You get it's like you basically have a management window. Calls come in, you deploy your team of heroes uh, to different calls, and depending on the stats and everything, it determines if you succeed on it or not. Uh, and that was I wasn't I feel like I didn't know what the game was. I enjoyed that aspect of it.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, the humor side of it though, god damn, was it funny?
Oh, yeah. No, the humor side of it was great. Again, this is both mine and your type of humor. It's going to be Zach's type of humor as well. This is just our
Uh,
type of humor.
well, by one of the best choices that you get to make. It's like your guy goes to the bathroom
Yep.
and
Yep.
it's like standing at the urinal. Another big old dude comes up and is like just chatting away with you, offers you a bro fist. You get the option. It's like, do you bro fist him or do you not?
Yeah. Yeah. You bro fist is like Royd will remember that. No, Royd was great, man. Royd was great because, he for number one, he knows your secret identity and it's like it's on a need to know basis, whatever, blah blah. But I loved the ending of that whole interaction where it's just like, about how Roy didn't wash his hands. It's like, oh man, I didn't touch anything. I just touched my pants and my underwear. And then even for the shake, I did this. And he just starts shaking his like
Yeah,
shaking his
he goes-
pants basically.
Another guy comes in, it's like goes in the
Walks in
stall,
between
and
them.
it's like looking back
Yeah.
at you, and then your guy just goes, "Can you do it again? I don't think I got that."
Yeah, I don't think I got that. Can you run that by me one more time?
Oh no, my other favorite moment of it was when you make your way to the records room
Yeah.
and you get introduced. I forget the guy's name.
Track star.
Yeah, well, the name I think
Chase.
Chase.
Yeah.
It's like he starts talking to you, and then your character he's like talking to you like he knows you. And your character's like, "Am I supposed to know you
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something?" He's like, "Hey, how about this?" He does a pose.
Yeah. It's
He's
like
like,
track star. Oh my god, they hug again, and track star. It's just like, man, why you hugging strange old men?
yeah, it's like, why you let strange old men hug you? And then it's like, because Chase as well, he looks like a 70 to 80-year-old man.
Yes.
And at one point, your character just kind of like they're just throwing jabs at each other back and forth.
Yep.
Your character looks at me and goes, "How old are you again?" He goes, "Turned 39 this year."
Had a great time at the club. No, and then it's also like whenever you're doing the actual gameplay where it's like, basically the management side of things, the like sim management, like it's also just interesting how there are the elements that, you can't control where it's like one job comes up and there's a girl, she's like, oh, I'm going to do this one. And it's like, oh, I got it, whatever. And then it's like you're in the middle of stuff and all of a sudden, what's his name? Flame Bay?
So, yeah, something
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
it's Flame Bay. He just leaves and starts going doing his own thing, and your guy's like, Flame Bay, what are you doing? And then it's like you're going off route, whatever. Then you click on it, it's just like, oh, there's a fire, there's fire, and your guy's like, did you start that fire?
Well, the other great thing about it is like some of the stuff will come up and it's like it'll because you click on it and then it's like it gives you a description of the job and it has like
Yep.
keywords so that you know what stat you need to send so you can send the corresponding hero to it.
Yep.
But the other like some of them they just pop up and it's like anybody but like
This person.
girl.
Yeah.
It's like
Anybody but Flame Bay.
Yeah, it's like anybody but this guy.
Yeah. Like you had like a bar fight going on. The guy's just like, just don't send that fire dude again.
Yeah, it's like just but as long as he's not here. And then like I think the one of the last things you have is like, or at least in the demo, is like a job comes up and I think it was like Invisigirl or somebody wants to do it, and they're like, "Aren't you banned from there?" He goes, "Yeah, but I gotta get back in their good graces."
Yeah, I got to get unbanned. It was like Granny's Donuts or something.
Yeah,
I mean, if those donuts slap, look, I can understand wanting to get unbanned. Okay. No, I mean like just the style of humor. They nailed it on the vibe of the game perfectly. And once you get like reach a moment where you think the demo's going to continue, it cuts off and it basically just gives you a nice highlight reel of the game and the story and kind of what we're
yeah,
doing.
it,
It
yeah, it,
it,
it
it draws you in very quickly
yeah,
for a short demo.
it kind of
Oops, sorry, that's my alarm for my dog's medicine.
yeah, it kind of when the demo ends, it kind of goes through a series of like shots and like sequences that'll happen throughout the game. And one of the things I appreciated there was as it goes through, you see some of the choice options that you'll get for some of these moments. So it's like you kind of have an idea of, or it's like you can look at some of that and be like, oh, I think I would make this choice. But by the time we actually get the game and get to play it, uh, who knows? Who knows if we'd actually pick those same options.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I'm just kind of curious how long the game's going to be and like what's the depth of options you can do. Like what's the depth here with all the different kind of possible I guess routes that can be taken is
Yeah,
a way to put it.
I wonder how much of it is going to be like actually like important enough to like change outcomes
Right.
or like change how characters or story or anything actually interacts with you, or if at the core, because at the core of it everybody's going to play the same game,
Yep.
but how much of it is going to be like I had a different experience than you,
Hmm.
because that'll be the interesting part.
Yeah, it'll be kind of like date night with Life is Strange. It's like, oh, what options did you take? It's gonna be like that.
But I will say one thing there is like there are I don't know how much the choices that we made in the demo would actually have an effect, because
Mhm.
some of only one of them really had an option where it was like, oh, he'll remember that.
Yeah, so that gives you the hint that that's going to be happening more than once. If I feel like,
Yeah.
I
So
feel like since it is only a 30-minute demo, they threw that in so you got the information of this is going to be a thing in the game.
yeah, and I wonder how often those are going to come around, because those are going to be, I feel like, the important decisions,
Yeah,
and with based on like how often just conversationally we had to pick an option, I wonder, or I would hope that those options come up a lot,
right. Me
because
too.
I would rather like a bunch of options that can change characters' opinions of you, or like
Yeah.
change how things can go. I would rather have a bunch of those than just a bunch of like almost meaningless
Hmm.
dialogue options.
Yeah.
Because while the dialogue options are great, and
10 out of
all the
10.
ones I chose were all the ones I
Fantastic.
chose were fucking grade A.
Yep.
Uh, I hope there's a lot of actually defining choices,
Hmm.
because it is kind of like like even the one that pops up like any normal thing.
Right.
It wasn't until after I picked it that I was like, oh, good choice.
Well, also we gotta keep in mind just like the team that's developing it, behind like Wolf Among Us, Tales of Borderlands, stuff like that, and just other Telltale games. I mean, I feel like there is gonna be a lot of impactful choices.
Well, yeah, but
Again, this is just that sample.
it's one where it's like even in those games, like if you get to the end of a chapter and like look at it, realistically, in those games there's usually like 6 options
Hmm.
per chapter or something like that. I hope there's way more than that.
Right.
Granted, I don't know how long this game is. I don't know if it's going to be chapter based or just one continuous thing.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I hope there's a like more than we would expect.
Right. Yeah. No, this game, whenever we saw this game, whatever showcase it was, I can't remember. I don't know
I
if
think it
that
was
was,
Game
I
Awards.
think it was Game Awards too. Automatically was on our most anticipated list, and now it's still up there. Dude, I gotta say, our anticipated list for this year is just so weird compared to normal people's. You know what I mean? Like we've got Digimon, Dispatch, Fellowship. It's just like while other people are looking forward to Donkey Kong, Mario Kart World,
Well,
whatever. We're
well,
like,
it's
yeah, let's go Digimon Story, let's
well, it's
go.
it's one of those where it's like if even if you started like at the beginning of the year, you
Yeah,
have people would have been like, "Oh, I'm excited for Doom. I'm excited
yeah,
for like Elden Ring, Night Rain, or like I'm excited for Ghosts of Yote," which I mean, you're probably gonna be more excited about that.
Yeah, I am. See,
But it's like you look at stuff like that. That's what normal people are excited about. And
yeah, yeah.
meanwhile, we're over here going, man, I don't know what's gonna release around Digimon, but I'm not playing it.
Yeah, bingo, brother. Bingo,
I'm
brother.
over here. We could have like a we could have like a AAA masterpiece game of the year contender come out around the time of Fellowship, and I'm gonna be sitting over here going, "I'm gonna play my MMO dungeon crawler."
Yeah, like, dude, you could have a game come out that's gonna hit a historic 99 alongside the only 99 of Ocarina of Time, and John and I will probably both be like, "Oh man, Fellowship. Oh man, Digimon Story." That's just like that's just how we operate, brother. That's how we operate.
You know what's gonna be the conflicting thing in my mind
What?
if those release close to each
Oh,
other.
brother, if that happens, Godspeed to you. Godspeed to you. You're gonna have some choices to make, man. You can split.
It'll be rough.
You can split your time.
It'll be hard.
Shout out to Dispatch though. If you haven't played the demo, go play it on Steam. It's great. This will be coming out to PC and console both. The game looks great. Can't wait for it. Very excited for it. Whenever we get a release date, hopefully a release date at Summer Game Fest would be super
Yeah,
sick.
I would assume we'll probably see something about it.
Hopefully, especially with that cast of characters. Let's go, baby. That's quite the cast of voice actors. So let's shout some merch. Use our referral link down below. Go over to Agent Inc. Pick up a jersey, pick up a hat, or go over to SparkyShop.com. You pick up the We Have Hats hat, or the B, the Lonely Boy, or anything of the sort. I need to add some more shirts to the Sparky 3 shop. Like, 7 is a good score. I need to add that one. That's an important one to have to the shop. But you go check out some merch, whether it's at the Sparky 3 shop or if it's at Agent Inc. And we'd appreciate that extra support. There's 2 cam button. There it is. God, well, I was about to say something. What was it? I don't remember. I lost it. I lost it, brother. I was going to say something. I think I was involving dispatch, but I don't remember what it was now. It is gone. It is gone. It wasn't involving dispatch. No, it was involving Ghost of Yote. So one thing that sucks for me is the release date for it, dude. It comes out I think the Thursday right before I leave for my honeymoon. So it's like, well, I'm not buying that for at least a couple weeks. Like, if not the end of the month for me, I'm not picking up Ghost. So I was like, and then also, Pokemon Legends comes out right after the honeymoon, and I'm just like, well, fuck, I'm not taking any time off for that then. It's like, god dang it. It's like, all right, whatever. Honeymoon's gonna be great. Can't wait. Let's see. What was the last thing I had on the title? Oh, yeah. Let's touch on this. Let's touch on this, just because I guess it is kind of interesting just to quickly chat about. The Black Panther game got canceled, as well as Cliffhanger Games got shut down in the process.
Yeah, I saw this, and it's one where like I wasn't necessarily surprised about it because this is
It's
just
been
one
a
of those.
minute.
This is one of those where it's like it's just been so long, and
Yeah.
we had heard nothing,
Yeah.
and there's very few studios. Most of them are like they got to be like those. They got to be the big names.
Yeah, the big ones.
They got to be like because I mean we've kind of mentioned before. There's almost like a big three of like video game studios right now,
Yeah.
and it's like unless you're one of those, and it's been 4 years since we've heard anything on it,
Mhm.
you're in trouble.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because that's honestly how I still feel about the Iron Man game. Now, granted, EA is the one who's publishing the Black Panther game. They're the ones who shut down Cliffhanger. They said that they are working on 3 more projects with Marvel, which does include Iron Man. So Iron Man is still a go, but I feel like Iron Man is in the same realm of how far along are you? Because the reason Black Panther apparently got shut down and the studio closed is the game has been in pre-production for 4 years and it's still in pre-production. They've made no progress on
I
getting
think
it out
that
of
might be the
pre-production.
difference in the Iron Man game because I
Yeah.
think it was. I mean, it's been years, but at least they had like a concept. They had something.
Yeah.
They had something rough to show off.
Now, you want to know what really sucks about the Black Panther game getting canceled is that it sounds like Cliffhanger was really trying to do something special and they just either couldn't get it to work or they just really needed more time because with all the reports of it getting shut down, I would assume the reason why it was still in pre-production is because they were developing a new game system that was inspired by the Nemesis system. So I feel like that's probably what kept it in pre-production is they were trying to
Well,
really hammer out whatever this system was.
that I guess the question there is, when did they decide they were gonna do that?
Also a great question.
Because
Was it 2 years in, 3
because
years in?
because it's been 4 years. Did you decide on that 3 years in because you realized you needed something? You
You,
needed to have an excuse,
yeah, you needed something
or
unique, or you needed an excuse because maybe what
or
you
is it?
had wasn't very good.
Because the other thing is, if you were working on it for 4 years and didn't have something, and you didn't have something that you could show off to have like the faith put in you on it,
Yeah,
it it means you didn't make enough progress on it.
yeah,
And it's like, yeah, you could they could give you the money to fund you for a couple more years on it, but if you're not making progress on the game because you're still trying to develop this system after 4 years,
right. Then
it is one at some point you got to cut your losses.
yeah, and
And that
that's one of those where it's like I feel like you know, when you can look around the room of the gaming industry and see some historic losses because of how much games cost, like let's say Concord, I feel like something like that's going to make people a little bit more gun shy. Where it's like you've already wasted my money for 4 years. Like it's like you just said, it's time to cut
yeah,
losses.
well, it's one where it's like, because it is kind of that thing. Did you start with that concept, or were you 3 years in and realized you needed, like, you were still trying to figure out like the gameplay loop, so you were like,
Right.
let's create a system, and they kind of caught you trying to, like, essentially trying to just come up with something
Hmm.
after that time. It's either that, or you spent all the time and you couldn't actually make a cohesive system,
Hmm.
and they looked at it and they went, this is going to take you another decade to do, and we cannot afford to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, it's unfortunate when you see like entire teams cut off like that and
Yeah,
and shut down.
it sucks, but
But it's one where, I mean, yeah, I mean, it 100% sucks, but at some point, like, you gotta have something to show. You gotta have something to show to give them a reason to believe in you.
yes.
And it's like, that may not have happened here, or maybe they had something that was half working, and it may have been something that they only started working on in the last year or so.
Yeah.
In that case, that kind of sucks. But at the same time, what'd you do for the previous 3 years?
Again, that is the question. Like, look, no one likes to see games get canceled, right? No matter what the game is. Like let's say for us here at the show, none of us are big DC fans, right? None of us really are Wonder Woman fans. Hated to see that game get canceled because we were excited for the Nemesis system possibilities, right? Hate to see any game get canceled. Like, I know at least me and Zach, we still want to see Scalebound come back one day. That would be cool. But like, and it's same thing here. I love Marvel. I'm excited for the Iron Man gaming. I'm excited for Blade. I loved Guardians of the Galaxy. Midnight Suns was a lot of fun. The gameplay for Avengers was fun. God bless, they screw everything else up with the game. Black Panther is one that I thought was gonna be fun because I was excited for like the Wakanda that we were gonna be able to explore, and just the premise that's come out of it, where it's like the main antagonists were like Skrulls who were invading Wakanda. You were going to be able to play as T'Challa, Killmonger, and Shuri, all three having the Black Panther mantle, plus a potential Nemesis system inspiration. That all sounds great, but it's like what we're saying. When did you start that system? Because I feel like that played a factor into them getting canceled, which sucks. That sucks. Which also shout out to Prince Green in the chat because he said interesting perspective because it's all about perspective. We're all about here about giving
Yeah.
different perspectives and opinions. And
And
how you doing, playtester? Hopefully you're having a great day.
I will say as well, like, they say they still got 3 more Marvel games in development. I'm I'm starting to wonder, like, what those games are, when those games are supposed to be coming out.
Yeah, that's a good
Because
question. I don't know.
the other thing is,
Let me see if I
you're
can find
missing
anything out.
you've kind of missed the window for Marvel games, in a sense, because I feel like part of, like, if the Black Panther game did come out, I feel like part of it would have been like Black Panther, like playing as Black Panther would have been the selling point of the game.
True.
But I don't know that that's enough anymore. because like Marvel fatigue has been real for a long time, and now more than ever. So I don't like you if you're gonna release a game based on the Marvel IP now, you gotta nail gameplay first and not just rely on the Marvel IP characters.
Right, right,
Because like I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but like Black Panther, if it did come out, it would have had to have looked spectacular and like the gameplay would have had to have looked amazing because Black Panther on itself is not gonna sell me.
right.
And like Iron Man on itself, that's not gonna sell me. You're gonna have to show me something that looks cool
Hmm.
and looks like it would be a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, I am curious what the other games are by EA. I tried to look it up just then, but then I had a little bit of a little bit of a drop frame issue, so I pulled back on that. But I am curious what the other two games are going to be for EA because I actually don't know what else EA is doing in terms of Marvel. Because I know we have Blade. That one is, I believe, with under the Bethesda banner.
That
Um,
was is that
Arcane.
Arcane?
I think that's
Yeah, I think
Arcane.
that's Arcane
I
doing
think
it.
Arcane's doing Blade. Let's see. Marvel. 1943. The Captain America Black Panther game. That one's Skydance Media, so that one's independent. Um, you got like the Cosmic game, which is just like the 2D, the 2D game, whatever. Team beat 'em up. Obviously, Insomniac stuff. I can't really think anything beyond that. But so I am curious whether stuff they have in the works. But yeah, no, Marvel fatigue has been a real thing for sure. Even Kevin Feige has been very notable of that and trying to go with more quality versus quantity for the
Yeah.
MCU projects.
It's just one where it's like if they have these games in development, they got to show something off
Yeah,
sooner rather than later.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, maybe we find like maybe this week we find out what those other two games are.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Will we see some Marvel stuff this week? That's a great question. No, sucks for Cliffhanger Games and sucks for the Black Panther game. Would love to see what they had cooking, but again, it is one of those situations of you do just have to kind of count your losses. Unfortunately, hate it, but it kind of, unfortunately, it is what it is. Hey, playtester, if you actually go back in the video by like 10 minutes, we were actually just gushing over the dispatch demo. It is fantastic. It
Oh
is
yeah,
10 out of 10.
we
Cannot wait for this game.
we we are big fans of that demo.
Yeah, no, cannot wait for that game to come out. That is a top 5 most anticipated game for both of us, and I'm assuming our other guy Zach, who is not here at the moment, I'm assuming all three of us are very firm. We are pumped as hell for this game.
Yeah,
This
'cause
batch is going to be great.
I think earlier Zach was finishing the demo as I was starting it.
Right.
Because like he was on, and then at like a few minutes into me starting it, I think he had finished it.
Yeah. So no, very excited for Dispatch, man. That's gonna be a great game this year. I can't wait. Hopefully it gets nominated for like best narrative or something. Let's go.
Well,
Let's go.
I mean that's a bit it's a bit early to say that.
Yeah,
We
come
know
on, let's be
we
optimistic.
we're hoping it's great, but we gotta see when it actually comes out because
Yeah.
it's got some competition right now.
Yeah, that's true.
The best narrative is gonna be a good category this year.
Expedition 33 is gonna win it. Let's
I
go.
mean, to be fair, so far this year it's gonna win a lot.
Oh yeah, no. This is Expedition's year, baby. Thank you, Rockstar, for pushing off GTA. Expedition can take home the crown of
I
Game of the Year.
I Some of us believed GTA wasn't gonna win anyway.
Yeah, that's true. You did. You did. You did. You're right. You're right. All right, let's hit the worst kept secret, the Persona 4 remake.
God, I was so upset to hear this or see this earlier. I think it was yesterday because I knew you were going to want to talk about it.
Wow, brother, come on. No, I just think it's funny, man. I mean, obviously, with the past few like Atlas projects, like Persona, specifically, as well as some others, they get leaked by domains, right? The domains get found, and in this case, the domain's been updated. The P4, it's like p4re.jp, whatever. So I mean, that alone makes it a worst kept secret. The notorious Atlas leaker before they got outed. They were on the Persona 4 remake for a while, but now this is just like the funny way of revealing the game of the former voice actor and voice actresses of a few characters putting out statements. By the way, I'm not returning as the character in the Persona 4 remake that has not officially been announced, by the way.
Oh, hey,
So that's just so funny to me.
Hey, there's your big Persona announcement that's gonna happen.
Yep. It's Persona 4 remake.
yeah.
No, it's coming. It's gonna
Yeah.
be this week.
Yeah. Fuck your P6.
Wow. All right. No, I mean, I'm excited for Persona 4. Persona 4 is great. I love Persona 4.
There's a couple fronts I gotta keep up.
I
Persona
know.
hater is one of them.
I know it is. I know
Because
it is.
it's like I could proudly just embrace that now because I have tried.
I know.
So many times.
Yeah, see, that's one that you have tried and you have just firmly determined it's not
Yeah,
for you.
I've tried it plenty. I get why people like it.
Yeah.
I get why people like it, but it's one where, yeah, not for me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
No, it is funny though to see like, it's like yes, I know you've all been asking me, but no, I will not be returning for this character.
Even though I've been begging.
In the remake of the game that they won't tell you is happening, but we all know is happening.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that was the first one that came out was Yuri Lowenthal, who voices Yosuke, and he's also voiced other notable characters in gaming, anime, and cartoons. Like he's voiced obviously Spider-Man in the Insomniac games. He's voiced Sasuke from the OG Naruto to now. He's voiced Ben 10 and Ben 10 Alien Force, and plus numerous other big roles. Right. So the fact that he was the first one to come out, it's just like, for everyone asking, I will not be returning as Yosuke in the Persona 4 remake, even though I have begged for it. And I'm just like, the fact that hopefully he doesn't get in trouble for that, right? And then he's got backup where the Chie voice actress and the Yuriko voice actress both said the exact same things, because like he put his out. A lot of people was just like, oh, hopefully you don't get in trouble. He actually deleted his post off Blue Sky. But then, like I said, Chie's and Yuiko's, they both put theirs out too. And I think theirs are still up. So I feel like this is just a band of, trying to just kind of say fuck Atlas on this one. But at the same time, like you would have had to see it coming, because they did the same thing with Persona 3.
Well, yeah.
Like the entire Persona 3 voice cast got recasted for Reload. Like you should have seen it coming.
It's one where, yeah, I mean, it's one where, yeah, it kind of sucks
It does
for
suck.
them, because it's like they have been tied to iconic characters from the series.
Yeah.
But like when you're remaking the game, a lot of times you do kind of want to put a new fresh coat of paint on it.
Yeah.
It's like you want to add something different to it. And it's like having new voice actors and actresses can be a big part of that. But at the same time, so it's one where I more see it as like, it's not the right word, but it's like petty,
Right. It is.
But by them. It's
I
just,
love it. I love it.
It's just them being like, it's like, yeah, I would love to do this, but you're not going to let me do this, and I wanted to, so fuck you.
Basically, and I love it. I love it.
It's just like a little shot across the mouth and being like, fuck you, I wanted that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because I mean, this team, man, they've been there since the OG Persona 4 PS2 game. They were there for the Golden remake. They were there for the Persona 4 animation. I don't know if Persona Q 1 or 2 had voice acting. Those are the 3DS games. But if they did, you can assume they were there too. So I mean, they were there for all these roles, and now it's just like, all right, well, I guess fresh coat of paint. Fuck you, So shout out to all of them for just outing Atlas. Like, yeah, this game's a thing, everyone. We're gonna go ahead and get ahead of Atlas on this because they recast us. Oh, shout out, man. Either way, the Persona 4 remake is exciting, though. I am looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. Except for the fact that they're taking the same approach as they did with 3, where there's not going to be Golden at the start. That sucks, because Golden's a lot of fun, but whatever. So anyway, so that was part of the weekly wrap up. Do you have anything you want to shout out before I keep going to the weekly wrap up? Anything you want to talk about? Chat about? Scream from the rooftops?
Not. I don't think so. I think I got that out earlier.
Okay. Well, let's talk some Nintendo stuff then. We got the game cartridges.
You fucking baited me. God damn it.
Got you, buddy.
It's like my least favorite thing behind Persona to talk about is Nintendo Switch stuff.
The Nintendo Switch 2, specifically. So that you can't say this is your least favorite yet.
Yeah, I can, because they did call it the new Nintendo Switch.
They almost called it the Super Nintendo Switch.
Either way, it's like, God, I hate talking about it. We've been talking about it for years. I don't care that it's about to come out. I still don't like talking about it.
Well, it's time to talk about it again, and I'll be talking about it next weekend.
Nah, we got other stuff to talk about.
Yeah, Mario Kart World.
That could be a weekly wrap up.
Wow. It'll be the last of the main
It'll be
topics.
the
How's
last
that?
of the weekly wrap up.
Whoa, whoa,
It's
whoa, whoa,
Mario Kart
whoa.
World. There's not going to be much to talk about. Let's
Look,
be honest.
I know it'll probably be at most like a 5-10 minute conversation. I'm gonna talk about it, I'm gonna do my part, but I imagine my stance on it is gonna be the same stance that I've had, the same stance that I have in the June Metacritic prediction video that's going up tomorrow, by the way. Please go watch it. Where it's just Mario Kart. That's it. This looks like natural progression of what Mario Kart should have had. But it'll be fun. But that's about it. It's not. Let's raise the price of gaming fun. But anyway, no. So I got a couple things with the Nintendo Switch 2. The first is involving the game cartridges. Did you see this that I sent in the group chat?
Yeah, I mean, I had heard it, but
This is
yeah,
stupid. This is just
I've been
Nintendo
saying it was
overcomplicating.
stupid the whole time.
Yeah, this is just Nintendo overcomplicating
Make
things.
one goddamn cartridge.
Now, I just want to know about the last one. Like, why is that one a thing? Is it because you don't want to make like? So if I buy, for the last cartridge, the last one.
Go through all of
Yeah,
these.
okay. Thank you. You're right. All right. So yeah, with the Nintendo Switch 2 game cartridges, there's gonna be 3 type of cards, and it's gonna be the distinguishing is going to be the coding down at the bottom of the card, where it's either going to be LB, LP, or LN. If it's LB, that is a Nintendo Switch 2 only cartridge. If it's LP, that's going to be one of the game key cards. And if it's LN, that is one that apparently works for both the Nintendo Switch 1 and the Nintendo Switch 2. So it's like, I guess they just don't want to make a gray Nintendo Switch 1 traditional cartridge we know, and they only want to make one cartridge going forward for those games.
Well,
I don't know what this is.
Well, that's the point of it, but the problem is it's being communicated in this stupid way.
Yeah.
When in reality, all it should be is you should have a on the box art, it should just say Nintendo Switch 2. And because that's what it's gonna be, they're not gonna tell you it's a game card.
Right.
It's like, so you'll buy it, and some of them you'll put it in, and you'll have to download the game.
Yep.
And the other thing should be, if it's one of the ones that'll work in both, the box art should say Nintendo Switch / Nintendo Switch 2.
Yep.
That's all. That should be the end of it right there.
Yeah. But instead we have this route.
Yeah. Instead of show it and be like, there's 3 different cards, just go, we don't need to know that. Just show me it's like, just distinguish it by the box art.
Yeah, exactly. Because like now I'm wondering for like this whole LN thing where it works for both Switch 1 and Switch 2. If I bought a Switch 1 game, right? Switch 1 case and everything, is my card going forward going to be red if it's also a Switch 2 game, It's just kind of weird.
Well,
I don't know. It's just weird, a weird approach. Nintendo being Nintendo as per normal.
No, it's like going forward, they're all gonna be that new card.
Yeah.
Any new game that comes out is gonna be the card that works for both Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2.
Right.
They're not gonna make the old card anymore. They're not gonna make just Nintendo Switch 1 games.
Mm-hmm.
They'll make them compatible for both, and you'll have to. They better distinguish it by the box art.
Yeah. Right. Right.
But it's like that's just gonna be it going forward.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just the whole that was just stupid, man.
It's the most Nintendo stupid way to do something.
Yeah, it is. The other thing is Nintendo Switch 2s are out in the wild, and they are locked behind a day one update.
This was the funniest thing to see.
Yeah, so it is that conversation of you cannot play the Switch 2 until you have an internet connection, which I understand people's concerns about that to a point, right? Because making sure like everyone is on the internet kind of thing, like that was what ultimately killed the idea of the Xbox One and deflating thing there. But also, like, look, you got to think about it. You have like over 200 to 300 million Switch 1 units out in the wild. I promise you almost all those people have some way to get to the internet, especially with how many people are on the planet. But it's also from like a standpoint of nothing getting leaked, nothing getting hacked.
Yeah,
I mean, they're cracking down security.
It's more of it's less about like needing, like having to have a connection like at all times, which is what people got so up in arms about with the Xbox One. It's more of, you got the console before you were supposed to have the console.
Correct.
And you thought you were going to be able to show off with it.
You thought you were going to be cheeky.
And instead, they're making it where when it comes out, it's like you have Like they're sending out the activation sequence instead of you just being able to show it off a week early.
Right.
Which, I mean, for people that have it already, I mean, yeah, you can be as frustrated as you want that you have it right now and can't use it, but at the same time, it's not out yet.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's I think it's the smartest move possible because I mean you got to look, man. You got to look at the entire Nintendo Switch One generation, how every single first party game got leaked early because
Also, the Switch 2 was leaked for months.
yeah,
We knew everything about the console before they showed it off.
yeah, correct. Um, so I mean, like them taking this approach, man. There's going to be that they have taken so many measures to prevent hacking and prevent security issues with this console because like dude, OG day one switches, a switch I still have in my house right now, like that's the one that's easily hackable where I could go hack it and get all these new games coming to the eShop like 2 weeks in advance once the code hits the eShop in prep for the launch. Like that's how Tears of the Kingdom got leaked. That's how any first party game got leaked is because of that. So it's like you know they've just like really cracked down the security element of things because I even saw something I want to shout it out in case it is real, but I need to like do a little bit more reading on it. Where it's like if you do attempt to hack the Nintendo Switch 2, it will essentially reboot your console and put it in a constant boot phase. Where it's just like, oh, you thought you could try this again? Fuck you, buddy. So I mean, it's just them trying to crack down security. You know, same thing with what you just said is you got this when you're not supposed to have it, so you got to wait for an update to use it. It's just kind of like getting a game early, you
Yeah.
know. So I don't know. I will also say with Switch 2, I wanted to shout this out because I saw this and people I feel like need to be aware of this. Is with your pre-orders. If you got your pre-order with Walmart specifically, which that is one of my pre-orders that I have, go check your pre-order status and the symbol that is beside your pre-order will tell you how you are getting the console. So have mine pulled up. If you see this little Walmart bag here for your pre-order, that means that you are getting the console from the store and you will be getting it basically by like 9 or 10 p.m. that day. If it is a picture of the truck, Godspeed on when you're going to get it because that's coming through a distribution center. So, like in my case, my pre-order is just going to come from whatever batch one of our local WalMarts are going to have, and it's going to be delivered to me probably via like a Spark driver or something like that. So go check your pre-orders and see how you're going to get the console. Because once I saw that news pop out, I went and checked mine. I got excited. Oh wow, I'm actually getting mine day
You
one
don't
because I didn't think I was.
you don't just want to go up to the store. You want to have you want to have a driver come.
Listen, brother, if it was my choice, I'd be going to the store, but I don't think it's my choice.
Just go to the.
I don't think it's my choice.
I just go to the store.
I wish I could, but I don't think it's my choice. I don't think it's my choice. I could try. I could definitely try, but I also don't know which store it's coming from. I can assume yes, but I mean, as a former Spark driver myself, dude, you can get shit from one store and go way out somewhere else. It's like, why do I even have this order? So I don't know. But yeah, no, go check that out if you haven't already. Yeah, so I said earlier the Pokemon Presents is set for in July 22nd, and we do have a release date for Pokemon Legends ZA. It is set to come out October 16th. So that's exciting. Excited to see more on the game.
No, is this a Pokemon Present specifically about ZA?
It's probably going to mostly focus it, yeah.
I feel like it's a little unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten so much about we know what the game is.
Yeah.
We don't need a presents on it. We just need the game at this point.
I saw someone ask, "Do you think it's a possibility that you at the end of this you get a reveal for next gen?" And I'm just like, yeah, maybe.
I expected that at Pokemon Day.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I mean, next gen's going to come out next year. So, I mean, do you want to go ahead and get ahead on it and do a quick little like Scarlet and Violet style reveal that hey,
Yeah.
this is a thing and end it
I
there?
mean, I said we were gonna get that at the previous
Yeah.
thing because it made sense for it to be then.
Yep.
It's like show it off as a little 15-second ender,
Yep.
and then everybody can be excited about this game. Well, going, hey, we know what the next game, or we see the starters for the next game.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's not like it's going to take away sales from Legends. You know, Legends is going to sell fine. So, I mean, I'm in the boat that I think the reason why we're getting the presents in July is to show a quick teaser of what the next games are, at least what their titles are, right, for next year. I've seen a lot of people say, no, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to. I think it will. I think you could potentially end this presents with a little teaser. I think that's fine. I think it's fine to go ahead and get that out there.
Now, are you just assuming we're getting a Gen 10 next year?
Yeah. I'm pretty locked in. I think Gen 10's happening next year.
Could be Gen 10 next year, or another in between game.
Yeah, another remake, like a Gen 5 remake.
Well, Gen 5 remake, or another, like, not necessarily like Let's Go game, but another game in that style where you revisit a generation.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be Gen 10 because I don't think they want to carry on their VGC stuff in Scarlet and Violet another year because we've already gotten
Well,
past all
we're supposed to be getting that
Showdown. Yeah, you're right. Or not Showdown, State, whatever it is.
Champions.
Champions, thank you. Yeah, that's true. Forgot about that. Whenever that's going to be, which I'm sure we'll probably see something about that next month.
I assume that's going to be the new VGC format going forward, and they'll just carry mechanics over from
That's true.
games.
That's true. No, I think Gen 10 is appropriate for next year, personally.
I mean, I said earlier this year that I think it's going to be next year, but
yeah, I'm locked into it. I think next year's Gen 10. Let's see. Oh, hey, we did get College Football 26 trailer, so shout out to that. Me and Tyler were talking shit that it felt like it was way too quiet when we're like, God bless, like a month and a week out from the game launching. But
it's a yearly football game. What do you expect?
Yeah, I know. I'm trying not to get excited for it, but all the college football content creators that have got to go down to Orlando and play the game have all said that like the team listened. Like all the problems like that people like aired out with 25, the team actually listened and made it improvements. So I'm hoping that's true. We're going to get to see some deep dives here soon. And just a little bit we've already seen some improvements, like with, high school road to glory, actually going to go play some high school games again, which that was always the fun feature of going through that. But IRL coaches are now in the game as coordinators.
Even the show has that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they didn't have it for 25, which was really disappointing. I didn't even play it because it didn't have it. Crossplay in Dynasty. Thank God. The fact that wasn't a thing last year is so stupid because I didn't want to buy it for the PlayStation. I wanted to buy it for Xbox, but everyone else had it on PlayStation. So I'm so glad that's a thing. Over 2,700 new plays. Offline team builder, that's pretty cool. Intensified stadium pulse just to make it more difficult in certain environments. They actually have like licensed music now too. So like one of the big thing that a lot of people are excited for is like, because in the trailer had Metallica, Enter Sandman, which is what Virginia Tech plays to come out in the field. So a lot of exciting new features. I want to see some improvements. A few improvements with Dynasty is where I want to see some improvements personally. But really excited to see the deep dives here soon. Shout out to that. Hey, we did get a new video for Digimon Story Time Stranger though. Did you watch that?
You sent it to me when I was at work.
My bad.
And I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I thought about it like 15 minutes before I came over here.
Right.
Because I watched a couple minutes of it the other day and then paused it and was like, I'll watch this when I get home, and then didn't get back to it. The little I did see of it, though, looked incredible.
Everything looks great.
This is going to sound the stupidest thing. This is the simplest feature. Being able to walk around. Being able to walk freely around the areas is the most incredible thing.
Yeah.
It's such a simple feature, but it's been 2 games where you have to walk on a linear path.
Yep. You're stuck on a linear path the entire time. No,
they put some
they put work in.
Like compared to what we had, they got a budget.
Yeah, they actually had a budget. We're not just playing PS Vita games anymore.
They had a budget for this game, unlike what we had previously, and I'm so happy about it because it means clearly we're not alone.
Yeah,
in this game.
Right. Man, I was so upset with one part though, because I told you what part it was. I got so damn excited whenever our character like walked into the bar. Dude, I'm telling you, I jumped out of my seat because they had a Goonimon and Lobomon sitting there just chilling and chatting. I'm like, where's the rest of them? Please show me the rest of the Warriors. That's what I want in this damn game. I want the Warriors, damn it.
They're not going to show everyone that's in the game.
I know. Just give me the damn legendary Warriors, man. That's what I want more than anything. God bless. I want the Legendary Warriors. Let's see. 100-line director said he wants to add DLC to the game with additional routes. I mean, with the game's success, why
Yeah,
not?
I wanted to ask you about this because you started playing it. How much have you played?
So, unfortunately, not as much as I wanted because when I got it Wednesday, it had to have a day one update, and with the Switch, that took fucking forever. So, I literally was not able to play it Wednesday. Thursday, I got to finally jump back on after a while because I was busy. Same thing with Friday, and I played a little bit earlier. So, I'm only on like day like 20. I'm not
Okay,
far.
I'm not super far, and I'm on like day 38 or 39.
Yeah, so
Just because I keep getting distracted by Remnant 2.
That's fair. No, I'm in like the persuasion period for all the characters.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I am. So I'm not far. I haven't had much time to fucking play because Wednesday was my day. I had nothing to do Wednesday. But that update, dude, like I even like moved like my Ethernet cord from my computer into my OLED Switch dock that has an Ethernet port to try to speed this thing up.
The
And
pro-
like, dude, it still was not speeding up at
well,
all. It was terrible.
so I don't know if it's the case with the Switch, but all modern consoles, even if you plug an Ethernet cable into it, you have to go into the settings of the console and change it from Wi-Fi to Ethernet.
Switch swapped automatically.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the first time I've ever used an Ethernet cord on a Switch, and it popped up with a different logo up top of a cord.
Yeah,
I'm like,
'cause
I've never seen that before.
I was gonna say, like PS5, when you plug it into it, you have to go manually change it. Xbox, you have to manually change it.
Yeah, so whenever Fantasy Life came out for Christina, it was taking forever to install when it was preload, and I got my super long Ethernet cord that I have floating around, and I ran it from the modem all the way to the bedroom to plug it in to speed this fucking thing up because it said like, oh, the download will be done in like 30 hours. I'm like, bro, I know I got faster internet than that. Like, what? Like, it was just a slow day, I
That's the other
guess. I
thing,
don't
it's like
know.
downloading stuff on Switch in general
It's terrible.
takes longer than any other
Yeah,
console. Maybe that'll be improved with Switch 2
maybe.
because maybe it's just what they have in the console just won't let you.
Right.
But yeah, downloading on Switch sucks.
Yeah.
That's why it's the only console that I still am.
Try to get physical
It's the only
games.
one that I purposely try to get physical games for.
Right, right. Let's see. Valorant is switching to Unreal Engine 5 and finally adding replays. There is also going to be a new map added later this month, followed by the Unreal Engine 5 upgrade in July, and the replays coming in September.
Hopefully they don't break anything because so many people would be mad.
That is very true. A big engine swap like that. Hopefully you don't break something.
Yeah,
And 'cause a lot of people
hopefully
would
that
be
goes
mad.
well.
Yep. Xbox handheld has been
Hey,
sidelined
you
for.
skipped one.
Oh, my bad, man. My bad. Elden Ring Night Rain came in with mixed review scores, but very high player counts.
I did want to speak on this because I did look through a lot of the reviews earlier. Because
Yeah.
a buddy of mine. I didn't think he'd be interested in it, but he was looking at it. Uh, most most of the reviews that are coming in as negative reviews, a lot of them are because there is not currently a way to private your game and go in as a solo player.
hmm
If you go in solo, it automatically match makes you with two other people.
Right.
And a lot of people want the option to go in by themselves and play it by themselves. The other part of that is duos because it's a 3-man lobby system, and a lot of duos don't like getting matched with a third random player.
That's fair.
So a lot of it is
They want duos.
a lot of it is they want the ability to turn up like a private lobby to be on where it won't match them with anybody.
That's fair.
That's a lot of, and then it's also just people that played the game and aren't a big fan of what the game is.
hmm
But we've known what the game is for a while. They've done a bunch of play tests on it.
Right.
So in those cases, I'm a little less like come on, people, we've known what this is.
Yeah.
You that's because some people I'm like, you bought the game knowing what it was, knowing you wouldn't like it, and you're review bombing it,
Yeah.
or
yeah.
you're reviewing it poorly, knowing you wouldn't like the game.
Right.
Which, granted, people do that for everything.
Yeah.
And I'm not even an Elden Ring player, fanboy, or anything.
Yeah. Die hard.
But yeah, I did want to mention that because I was actually reading reviews earlier, and that does seem to be a large part of it.
Okay. I know it also came in at a lower Metacritic score. It came in at like a 77. And I wonder if that's why, because I didn't
Yeah.
actually go read the
The other
reviews.
the other thing is a lot of people are calling it like an Elden Ring asset flip,
Mhm.
which I can understand why people are saying it, but at the same time, it's really not.
Mhm.
But or it doesn't appear to be. And like from a lot of videos and stuff that I've watched on it of people talking about it, it doesn't seem to be.
Mhm.
And a lot of those are like big time like Elden Ring players.
Right, right.
But a lot of it is just, I mean, when I checked earlier, the game had about 300,000 people playing it.
Yeah, no, it's got great
It's
numbers.
like it's got mixed review scores, but you got hundreds of thousands of people on Steam playing it. So obviously people are enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah. All right, next up, Xbox handheld has been sidelined for now to focus on improvements to Windows 11 to compete with Steam OS and prepare for the next gen Xbox. Yeah, I saw this come across because apparently just Steam OS is just taking off because of how like well user friendly it is, the features it has, everything. Like Steam OS is apparently a juggernaut or becoming one. And now they're just wanting to kind of get Windows 11 a little bit more in line with usability and just features and everything of the sort. So I'm wondering when they
That's
say
the Steam OS. That's the
that's what's on the Steam Deck.
oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, no. So like,
It's honestly the layout on on the Steam OS for the Steam Deck is fucking great.
right, right. And Christina said the same thing with her Steam Deck. Like, absolutely loves it. I've like all of the Xbox themed and like Microsoft themed reporters that I follow. They all when they put out this report about it, they all agreed that yeah, if Xbox wants to compete with something in the future, they need to get Windows 11 hammered out to compete with Steam OS. And they all like they understood why the handheld got sidelined. But
It's
when
also a weird thing that they're having to sideline it to work on the OS
yeah,
when they're about to partner with them.
see, that's the thing. That's funny as shit, but very true. The one thing I was wondering is what handheld got sidelined? Is it the one that got leaked with Asus? Is that the one? Like, what
No,
what are they talking about?
I know because well we knew that they were doing the one with Asus, but there. Remember how we've talked about it a couple times about
The
like
next gen?
the next gen
Okay.
handheld, like because next gen is supposed to be like a PC in a box
Yeah, yeah,
type thing,
yeah, yeah.
but also it's like also I think alongside that it would be like a handheld variant
So
of
that
it.
handheld got
That
sidelined.
handheld is
Okay.
what I think got sidelined.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if it was the new leaked one that we just saw recently get leaked and has yet to be announced, or if it was like next gen.
I think it's the next gen
Okay,
one because it's
okay.
like that would be the one where they need the OS to actually look nice.
Yeah,
Because
that's
it's
fair.
like the one that they're currently working on is it's just gonna be whatever they have right now,
Right.
which is I mean it's not gonna be as good as Steam OS, but
Mhm.
that one is legitimately gonna be hard to beat.
Yeah, that's true because SteamOS is very nice. But hey, like you said, if they're partnering with them, what does it
Well,
matter?
that's the weird thing.
What does it matter?
It's like we gotta spend the time to create this thing to like battle against you
Mhm.
but we have to say that because remember we're not partnering.
Right. Yeah, it's like we can't talk about that yet. Okay, shush, shush, shush.
Comes out and it's just Steam OS that has an Xbox tab.
Basically, that's all it's gonna be. Next thing, Witcher 3 getting official mod support later this year.
It doesn't have official mod support. It's been 10 years.
Right? No, what got me pumped about this, and a lot of other people excited as well, is hopefully Cyberpunk will be behind it as well. Hopefully Cyberpunk will get some official because apparently the mods for like Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk are incredible. Like there's some incredible mods out there.
I've like taken a look at like Cyberpunk mods before. They look great.
Yeah, so hopefully that gets official mod support as well. Hey, here's one for you, buddy. Dragon Quest 11 has shipped 8.5 million units globally to date.
It's great.
Shout out. Big accomplishment. Big accomplishment. Multiverses has officially gone dark. It is done. It ended yesterday, I believe. Yesterday afternoon is when it ended. What a fall from grace Multiverses was, dude. Like I remember when that shit came out. You two were so hyped about. So was the community.
It was also the weirdest like release cycle ever because they released the game. because they released the game. I think it won best fighting game at a Game Awards when it
I think
initially released.
I think it did. Then they pulled
But
it.
then it's like it was out for months.
Yep.
And then like after it was out, they were like, "No, this is alpha build."
Yep.
And then they took it offline for a year.
Yep.
And then completely remade the game in like different art style, different mechanics and everything to it, and then released it again and everybody went, "You fucking dumb."
Right. Right. You had something great and you ruined it.
Yeah, but no, once it released and it got all the bad reception to it, it was a matter of time.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. It was. And now it is officially gone. So shout out to Multiverses. Very short lived, but could have lived longer. Fantasy Life I Nintendo Switch 2 edition will be launching day one with the Nintendo Switch 2. And it's only dude, the price for it's so stupid. It's like $2.59.
I was gonna say it's one where it's like it I mean, it better release.
Yeah.
It's like it came out and it's like granted I was been memeing with you when you would talk about
Yeah.
it, but at the same time, it's got such good reception.
Yo, no, for real.
It is incredible the
So,
reception. For that game.
my wife is such a diehard fan of the first game. It's one of her favorite. It's one of her like legitimately top 3 favorite games ever. And when I did my Metacritic prediction video for May, I just let her pick the score. I'm like, I'm not gonna pick a score. You tell me what to say. She's just like, realistically, I think it's gonna be like a 75. Dude, that thing came in at 85. And it's like she's so happy about it, you know, like because that means possibly another sequel coming and stuff, and just the reception around it. It's like
yeah.
it's like this is such a game that people missed in the 3DS era, and now everyone's getting a chance to experience it. So big shout out. But no, they did like a side by side comparison of it, and it's just incredibly fast load times. Because even when she's got it for PlayStation, she bought it for the Switch the other day as well, and when the moment she got on the Switch, she's just like, "Oh no!" And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Oh, I've been spoiled. This load time is so long." And I was sitting there watching it, dude. It's like a good like 7 to 10 second load time. Meanwhile, the PlayStation's like, boop, loaded. So at least the load time's gonna be improved. Shout out to that. And then this was hilarious. I sent this to you guys too.
Yeah, I had seen this.
This is great. A Concord developer put up their release commemorative plaque up for an auction at Goodwill. It was on a Goodwill shop website. You could go auction for the plaque that has like the case and the game and the developer's name. Hopefully she don't get in trouble for that. I don't think she would.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how she could get in trouble for it.
It's her property, you
Yeah.
know. But I just think that's so funny because it's like, this was a disaster. I want to get rid of this thing.
Yeah.
Someone's going to want this because of how much of a historic disaster it was.
Yeah, that's just one where it's like, yeah. I mean, we all meme on it.
Yeah.
It's everybody loves to clown on Concord and that, but man, it's got to be rough to be known as a developer for that game.
Yep. 100%, man. Like having that one on your resume, buddy, that one's not good. That one's not good. You got anything else that you want to shout out, or are you ready to wrap up the show and kind of get out of here?
I think I'm good.
Nothing this week. All right, all that's left is Gamestetic Game of the Week. I am prepared. I swear. And I do want to ask for forgiveness. This is I'm cashing in a big game here. I do apologize. You know, with Gameset Game of the Week, we try to always avoid the big ones, right?
Occasionally we do.
Yeah.
Usually it's like either relevant or
Yeah, exactly.
It's like relevant or there's something like that.
Yeah.
'Cause a lot of times we kind of dig through a catalog and try to find something.
Yeah. Usually it's just relevant. I think only one time it was like, you know, here's this because whatever. And I think it was when the show that I kind of popped in the last like 20 minutes, and I was like, well, I think it was supposed to be my week, so here's Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah,
You know, 'cause I wasn't prepared. I didn't think
Yeah.
I was gonna be here.
I mean, honestly, I think I've maybe done. I've done a couple like pretty well known,
Yeah.
at least franchises.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just makes sense.
And this is one of those that it just makes sense because what I'm going to be shouting out is my favorite Nintendo Switch game. since we are now, this is the last Gamestetic episode before the Switch 2 comes out. So just wanted to celebrate that. So for Gamestetic Game of the Week, I'm going to shout out, and I did have to think really long and hard about this, about what was my favorite Switch game between a couple. But I think the hours played and the amount of I want to go back and replay this game is enough to speak for it. So let's shout out Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now that the Switch One has officially come to a close, I think I can probably say that was my favorite Switch game because the amount of times I've played it, I still want to go back and replay it and just experience the game and play it in a lot of different ways. If you've never played a Fire Emblem game, this is a great game to get you into the franchise. It's very user friendly, and it's just it's so cool with all the different options and routes you have for the game. Where you come in as a professor of an academy and get to choose your house between the three major houses of the Black Eagles, the Blue Lions, and the Golden Deer, all featuring a wide variety of characters. And then from there, it takes you on to the three different routes that those characters follow. One of those three routes does also feature another route you can choose as well based on your choices. So technically, there's four total story routes to play in the game, and those story routes change based off once you get to part two of the game. Basically, part one for all three is pretty much spit for spat the same content, but just with your new characters. But just the cast of characters, man, is incredible. Claude with the Golden Deer has become one of my favorite video game characters out there. Joe Ziga, who voiced him, did an incredible job. Dimitri is an incredible character as well. The Black Eagles has some great characters, like Petra is amazing. I know you're a big Caspar guy. Dorothea's great. Edelgard's got a good story behind her as well. It's just the characters can really draw you in, man. All their different stories, getting to go through all the different paralogs, watching all the characters interact, especially when you also get the fourth house, which is the DLC house of the Ashen Wolves, and see how they interact as well, and just kind of further kind of dig up some interesting little lore stuff. And that's another thing I love about the game is that the lore of the game that doesn't fully get revealed, like stuff with Claude and what his real name is and where he came from, like that stuff that you can just kind of get through general hints and tidbits and stuff like that throughout the game. Like with Balthus and Claude, their whole paralog stuff was really good. Really enjoyed their interactions. But then also just the tactics element for it. It's just it's a good tactics game. I wouldn't necessarily say it's the greatest tactics game that's ever been created in terms of the gameplay, but the gameplay is very good. And if you really want to spice up your game on future playthroughs, just be like Zach and take a character that is by no means supposed to be a certain role and make them that role. You can make anybody anything in that game. You can take a character that's meant to be like an archer and end up being like a bow knight and turn them into a freaking mage if you want to. Go have fun. Go be like Zach and have a great time. But no, Three Houses, man. I've played every route. I love the game. I love the characters. This is, I think, like I said, probably my favorite Switch game. It was between that and probably like Tears of the Kingdom. But just thinking about, like, I've yet to go back to Tears of the Kingdom, even just to dick around, and I continuously go back to Three Houses, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think I've got like Three Houses is not my most hours on a Switch game. That's going to be Pokemon Shield.
I was gonna say, I knew it was
It's
that one.
Shield. But I mean, like in terms of it being a story-driven game, once you beat the game, you're done. I mean, it's by far my most. I mean, I had like 300 plus hours on Three Houses.
Yeah.
I can sing nothing but praises about the
Oh
game.
yeah. I love the game. I only ever did one playthrough of the game because I've gotten better about it over time. That was back when I would play like a game that you could play through and have different routes and stuff
Yeah, yeah.
on. I had a harder time going, like when I finished it, going back and actually playing different routes on it
Mhm.
because I would be too attached to what I had just done.
Right, right.
I've gotten better about that over time. I'm able to play through games and that have that and go back through them again. And that has been one that I've meant to go back to at some point and actually play the other routes on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe I'll do that at some point this year.
Yeah, and also when going to play on other routes, one really kind of fun thing to further add to future routes is just the New Game Plus features, where when you carry over the New Game Plus, you can automatically apply a bunch of stats to your character, which that can help recruit characters of the past, and because you can update, basically support levels with characters, and you can recruit people from other houses to be part of your house, without doing New Game Plus, but it just takes a little work. Like you need to be up in a certain skill. But let's say maybe you're like me and you've done every route and you've played with every character, whatever. Maybe you want to play a new route of whatever your favorite route is, and maybe do like a dream team route and recruit all your favorite units from whatever houses. Then hop into a New Game Plus. At that point, you've got multiple playthroughs. Set all your supports for the characters you want to support to be. Go support it. Go recruit them, and you got them for the game, right? And do like a dream route. Like who do you want to be? Who's your favorite healer of all the houses? Who's your favorite archer of the houses? Whatever. Just do. That's something I've been meaning to do for a while. Is my dream team route within reason, because there is a couple characters you cannot get. But no, Three Houses, great game. Need to play it if you haven't played Fire Emblem. It's a good one to start your Fire Emblem, fandom with. Is Fire Emblem Three Houses. Shout out to GameStead Game of the Week. A basic one, a pretty big game, but again, it makes sense. It's the end of the Switch here with this episode of Gamesthetic. So I wanted to shout out my personal favorite Switch game. With that, let me hit the music and let's get out of here. Let me actually turn the music down so it's not blaring. And now let's get out of here.
All right, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Leave a comment down below what you expect to see or what you hope to see at Summer Game Fest this coming up weekend. And if you like what you saw with us here and want to see us do this again next week, and potentially a couple shows next week, we do these live streams every Saturday about 6 p.m. Central Time. May do a couple more shows next weekend, depending on how good the showcases are. So come check us out then.
Yeah, there will be a lot of different content coming out next week between at least the live show on like Saturday, just talking about Summer Game Fest. I'll be talking about Mario Kart World and everything. May do another live stream for the Xbox Showcase if it grabbed all of us enough. But at the very least, you'll also see videos of everything. Friday, I will be recording a video after Summer Game Fest, probably releasing that first thing Saturday morning. I'll be doing the same thing for Xbox, maybe State of Play. A lot of different content coming out here for Sparky3, so subscribe to the channel, be a friend, tell a friend. If you want to support us further, the Patreon is a great way to do so. Join the Discord as well as check out Rogue Energy and Agent Inc. down at the referral links down below, and we would appreciate that support. It's gonna be a fun week next week. Hopefully everyone has a great week and get excited. It's gonna be fun. Bye.